destroy my world!
Alright, what is going on, everybody? Today we have another Marvel Rivals video for you today. And today I wanted to talk about, basically the subject today is going to be about, is balancing subjective? Now, of course, this video very much stems from the current or ongoing drama that is happening between Flats and Light. Flats being one of the biggest Overwatch / Marvel Rivals content creators / streamers, and Light, who is a much smaller content creator, but he is like he's a pro player. He's a really good Marvel Rivals player. He also used to play Overwatch, from what I've heard. And the topic came up, the biggest topic that came up within the discussion, if you can even call it that, is that Flats is saying that balancing is subjective. Light is saying that it's not subjective. And then the back and forth kind of just goes on from there. So we kind of have to like analyze exactly what it is and define and really contextualize what is going on here, right? So when Flat says, that balancing is subjective, what does that mean exactly? So to break it down, because, that's what we got to do. Subjective balancing means that when the balancing patch notes comes out, there's going to be a lot of people that react to the balance changes, and they're going to have different sorts of reactions, right? Myself included. I do videos that also I react to balance patches, right? And I give my 2 cents on it to see whether, I like it or not. And for the most part, I guess you can say that a lot of times people are going to have various different reactions to certain different, challenges or changes that are going on within the balance patches, right? I know, for example, Daredevil, right? Daredevil got nerfed, and a lot of people are saying like, well, Daredevil got nerfed like the 50th time. He's still getting banned. So, it kind of like doesn't matter, right? But some people like me, I see, oh, another Daredevil buff or nerf. That's cool. But is it really going to stop? Like, is it really going to push back against Daredevil and his overall power and survivability and whatnot, and his presence? Like, how effective is Daredevil, right? And to that I say it's been pretty effective, right? Not to the biased degree that I would like to, right? I would love for Daredevil and Gambit to get the same treatment that Black Cat did and permanently stay that way, right? But that's just my opinion. Some people think the nerfs did nothing, right? Because these are light nerfs, and even though it is the 20th, 50th nerf on Daredevil's still, running amok. And so that's basically the whole, I guess you can say that's the whole point of when Flat says balancing is subjective, because balancing is not catered towards one specific group of people, right? That being, in this case, pro players, which makes up the very, 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 very small amount of the player base in the community in this game, right? If pro players are the only ones playing Marvel Rivals would have been shut down like within the span of a few months, really. The ones that keep the game alive are casual players. So of course it is only natural that for the most part NetEase would try to cater for the most part, casual players. That's why we have a lot of stuff like Doom matches and 18 versus 18 and PvE and stuff like that to have people come in and have other options to play the game besides just PvP, like quick match and rank. So I guess that's what it means for balancing to be subjective, because, I might think that Daredevil didn't get nerfed enough. Some people might think that Daredevil did get nerfed enough, or some might say that he's just outright unplayable. And I think it's fine to have your opinion on whether or not some characters need more or less, or they're perfectly fine, or if they even deserve the nerf or a buff in the first place, right? And I think there's a general consensus that there are levels to the balancing as well, right? For example, Widow. Widow is the type of character that I think for the most part we all agree that she doesn't need a buff, because a buff would break her, right? We all understand the concept of getting one-shotted by a Widow, by a sniper. Getting one-shotted is not fun. That's just outright not a fun mechanic to play against, right? That's why we had this season of Hawkeye, where Hawkeye was just going crazy, bro. He was one-shotting left and right. You saw Hawkeyes everywhere, and he was one-shotting like crazy. And then they nerfed him, I think twice, right? They nerfed him, and then they nerfed him again, and now you barely see Hawkeyes. So we understand the consensus that if Widow kind of got that same treatment of like, okay, well, let's increase her damage, she's going to be utterly broken. She's going to be unfair, right? She's going to go from literally the worst character in a game to the most picked character in the game, just because of how that small little change can highly impact the game itself. But I think we all can also agree that she doesn't have to always be this way. They can very much just simply rework her. She needs a rework. They need to change how her gameplay is. And in my opinion, I feel like someone like Widow, I don't think if to be a sniper in Marvel Rivals means that you have to be garbage, then I much rather not have a sniper in the game. Just make Widow a completely different character, make her her own character, make her fun, make her playable. I don't think anyone deserves the Black Widow treatment. I don't think any character deserves to be put in a spot where they have super low win rate and, you know, they're cursed to be, they're unable to be buffed, because if they even get the slightest amount of damage buff, they're going to be completely and utterly broken. So at that point, just don't make them a sniper, just make them a completely different character. I don't think you need to have a sniper in a game just for the sake of having a sniper in a game, right? But anyways, like, I kind of digressed there. The whole point is basically like, Flats is right. Balancing is subjective. What he means is that balancing will not always follow suit with certain types of people. It is impossible to make everybody happy. It is impossible to fully reach satisfactory levels with every type of player in the game, from bronze to GM to top 500 to pro players, right? It is impossible for everybody to be happy and satisfied with the changes that are currently happening. And I do believe that they are working hard. A lot of times when I play the game, I tend to say the opposite, but that's mainly because I'm just raging and I'm just mad at the game, right? I mean, it's Marvel Rivals. I mean, it is what it is. You say a lot of stuff that you don't actually mean, right? So, but in all honesty, like, I do believe that the game is in a very good state. In my personal opinion, I think balancing is probably the best it's ever been. I would say, of course, it's not perfect, but I'm saying, like, compared to every other balance season that we've been, I think right now is probably the best. And I'm worried for the next season, because I'm worried that they're going to buff a character. They're gonna pull a Phoenix and they're just gonna buff a really strong character. They're gonna buff Cyclops or something like that, right? Or they're gonna overly kill Cyclops, right? That's what I'm worried about more so. For me, the top priority for the game is going to be matchmaking and quality of life updates, such as more maps, map voting, disabling double bans. I would prefer turn-based bans, right? And I would like to stack in Celestial, because I have friends, unlike most people, that play this game, and I actually want to play a game mode that is slightly better than Quick Match. A game mode that's slightly better than Quick Match I cannot play, because I'm too high of a rank to stack with, you know, I can only stack with one other person, but it's like 4-5 of us, and it's like, well, we can't play rank together, so what do? I mean, 18 versus 18 is garbage. Doom matches is garbage. Like, that's just like casual slop, right? We have no choice but to play Quick Match, and Quick Match is garbage, because Quick Match is all about just pick your favorite character and just press buttons and lose and leave the game if you get mad. That's the sort of stuff that I'm kind of just like, that's at my top priority list. Before, it was the balance changes. Like, I wanted better balancing. I wanted, you know, blade buffs, Daredevil nerfs, Gambit ult nerfs, Phoenix nerfs, right? That's kind of what I wanted. Maybe a little bit of a Black Cat nerf. I didn't want her to die, right? Because she's borderline, she's just straight up destroyed. She doesn't even exist in the game anymore. She's just Invis 2. She's Sue Storm 2, right? She just spams Invis and then try to survive somehow. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the state of the game right now. I genuinely do believe that they're trying their hardest. I think the best way to go about, I already made a video about this. This is my previous video. You can go ahead and watch it. Is basically like the mentality and the ignorant assessment and assumption that you can just like stop a part of a production team and expect greater value on other side of the production team just because you stop at a certain, like you stopped a certain production team. Basically, like if you stop making characters, balancing is all of a sudden going to get better. We're going to get more maps. We're going to get more of this and that. It's like, it doesn't work like that. It's not Elden Ring. You can't just respec stats, right? That's just not how it works. This is real life. In real life, there's certain departments for all these things, and everyone is a professional in that certain department. And you might not like it, right? And even though it might make sense in your head, it just doesn't work like that. You have to think this stuff like logically, right? The best way to go about, if we want more maps, if we want better balance changes, if we want Widow to get reworked, if we want map voting, if we want more game modes, right? Instead of attack, defense, domination, if we want more game modes, if we want like that game mode from Overwatch, the one where you get perks and whatnot, I would love that. I would love stuff like that in Marvel Rivals. At this point, I would like role queue for quick match only. Just for someone like me, I can just play the game and have a guaranteed stable team, right? That sort of stuff, in order to get a lot of those things that we want and that we're asking for. Basically the best way to get them is to just advocate and let our voices be heard in the kindest way possible, but make sure that we're loud and clear, right? In the same way that when they buffed BP, when they, that meme of like, he's back, y'all. He's back. Like the king of Wakanda is back, and it's like he just gets a stupid like cooldown. Like they got rid of his cooldown, his double jump when you wall climb, whatever, and everybody was clowning on them. It's like, what, right? And then they had to do like a patch. They had to do a second patch before the release of the update, and they ended up buffing Cap when they removed his animation cancel, and then they buffed BP, and then they nerfed Elsa Bloodstone, right? So stuff like that is the best way to go about it. We need to make videos about it. We need to talk about it. We need to at them on Twitter. We need to we need to let our voices be heard. This is the best way to get what we want, but we're not gonna get what we want by simply like making drama videos on other people and calling other people out for having bad takes or what you think is bad takes, right? If we want better, because we all love this game, right? For as much as we complain and bitch and for as much as we stress out, right, we're still playing the game every day. So I think if we're gonna keep complaining and playing the game at the same time, I think the best way to go about it is to just simply let our voices be heard and just keep repeating it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until they finally get it. Until we finally get a map every season. Every character that comes out, a new map for quick match and comp. And then we don't want no more social hub maps. We don't want no more Doom match hub maps. We don't want no 18 versus 18 maps. We want comp. We want maps for a comp and quick match, right? The main game modes. We want more maps for the main game modes. Why are we wasting maps for social hubs? Right? I would have loved the beach map or the summer, right? I think that would have been pretty cool. Or Times Square. That would have been a dope ass map. But no, it's a social hub. So it's like, well, okay, the best way to go about it is for us to just simply advocate and stop threatening Jiyoung and Guangguan, bro. Can we stop threatening to kill these people? Like, what the fuck, bro? But hey, I mean, listen, I got friends that do that shit, but they're not content creators. They're just normal people that love this game, but also hate this game as well. So I get it. But don't be a content creator wanting to kill Jiyoung and Guangguan, bro. What the fuck is that shit? Like, I don't understand. I get you're frustrated. I understand. Trust me. Right? But we cannot be doing that shit. We cannot be threatening to kill the balancing team just because certain characters didn't get nerfed, certain characters didn't get buffed, certain characters didn't get touched. All right? We cannot be threatening these people who are trying, right? They're trying, right? They're reaching out for you. They're reaching out to you for your feedback. And I think it's your job to make it loud and clear what it is that this game needs to make it better. And that's kind of why I'm here as well talking about it. And yeah, that's what I would like to do. I would like, if I had the opportunity, I'm obviously like a super minute content creator, hoping one day to reach the levels of Flats and Boger, and I'm trying. But that would be my approach if I had leverage and if I had power and if I had the communications and the opportunity to talk to the Marvel Rivals developers and then to just pick their brains for a little bit and have a conversation with them. I would be advocating for these sorts of things, right? If you have the power and the connections, and if you don't, then just try to have a community to back you up on that sort of thing, right? That's the best way to get your point across, is to just come together as a community and let your voices be heard. Because let's be real, we all have this very same sentiment. We all want more maps. We all want better balance. We all want better matchmaking, right? So let's rally together and let's let them know about it, right? But let's not do it in a way where we're threatening them, because that's just simply not going to do anything. You're just wasting your time. At that point, what's even the point of doing any of this? But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I'm not going to continue with this drama shit that's going on. I'm kind of not trying to dig too deep in that shit, because quite honestly, it's just not, it's entertaining, but at the same time, it's kind of like not that deep. Balance is subjective to a degree, right? I think for the most part, it's just a matter of letting your voices be heard in the correct and appropriate manner. And I think that's the best way to go about it. If you don't like something, or if you want something to be added, let your voices be heard in the kindest and clearest way and appropriate way possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.